Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the today's football show. As today we're going to talk about yesterday's games from European leagues and also the Serie A, La Liga, and also FA Cup. Also we're going to talk about today's Champions League games playoffs. As the Champions League is back this time for the playoffs. But let's start with yesterday's games. FA Cup, Macclesfield Town against Brentford. Brentford beat Macclesfield Town 1-0. I thought Macclesfield Town gave a good effort, good fight to Brentford. It's been fantastic this season, but that own goal won the game for Brentford. So, and always in these kind of games against teams where you should beat them comfortably, where you are, let's say, 2 or 3 divisions above them, you should win comfortably. Sometimes it's never easy. Man City, even though when they beat Salford City 2-0, it wasn't easy for them. West Ham, same thing, even though if they won. So it wasn't tricky for some. It was tricky for some teams, not all of them, because obviously Arsenal won very comfortably very early on against Wigan. But that's the beauty of the FA Cup as well. That even though you have all the quality of the players that you have, the other team can make it difficult as much as they can. So yeah, that's the beauty and things can change very quickly. So yeah. But Brentford go through to the next round of the FA Cup, and the draw of the FA Cup happened. As you look at the fixtures, you've got Port Vale, by the way, there's game that hasn't played yet, which is Port Vale against Bristol City. But Port Vale against Bristol City against Sunderland. Then you've got Fulham against Southampton. This is their 5th round draw, by the way. Fulham against Southampton. West Ham against Brentford, Wrexham against Chelsea, Wolves against Liverpool, Mansfield Town against Arsenal, Leeds against Norwich, and Newcastle against Man City. I mean, you look at the draw. I mean, you've got teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal should go through, no problems against those sides where they should win. Liverpool, Wolves are a Premier League side, but they are bottom in the Premier League, so I think Liverpool should beat them, even though it's away from home. West Ham against Brentford is kind of a tricky one to call, because especially, West Ham are fighting for relegation and Brentford have a good season, but it's also at West Ham is also difficult to say. Fulham against Southampton, I think Fulham should go through with that one, but who knows, Southampton could call something. Port Vale or Bristol City against Sunderland, I think that could be a tricky one for Sunderland. Going away to Port Vale or Bristol City could be a very tricky one. So even though Sunderland are playing in the Premier League, and those teams, or one of them will face Sunderland, are not playing in the Premier League. Then you've got Leeds against Norwich, which Leeds are at home and they should win that game. Newcastle against Man City, I mean, that means that Newcastle will face Man City 5 times this season. They faced each other twice in the Carabao Cup. They faced twice in the Premier League, because I believe Man City's next game is Newcastle at home. And the first ones against in the FA Cup as well. Maybe even 7 times. Maybe they could even face each other in the Champions League. Who knows? Maybe Newcastle could have a very good run and they face Man City in the Champions League. So, but again, it's another showdown between Newcastle and Man City at the St James Park once again. Very tricky one. Very tricky game, and it's not an ideal fixture for City to have, because you look at, let's say, Arsenal, who are also in contention for 4 competitions. They could rest players for this game because it's a game they should win against Mansfield Town. Whereas Man City can't do that because Newcastle they're a good team. They're not as good as this season. They're not as good as last season, but they're a good team still. And they're gonna have to, they can't rest players, because obviously the 4th March they've got the Premier League at home against Nottingham Forest, and then after Newcastle they'll have the Champions League. So it's not an easy one for Pep Guardiola to make with the line regarding to the lineup. So yeah, but I mean, City they are the favourites, but obviously being favourites in this kind of competition counts for nothing. It's about what you do. It's knockout stages, anything can happen. Newcastle they started to pick up some momentum recently, beating Tottenham and Aston Villa away, even though Tottenham are a very poor side, and Aston Villa with down to 10 men. 2 good away wins as well, so start to pick up some momentum. But in the Premier League still they're not that great, the 10th in the Premier League, but at home they're usually strong. So no for sure calls for Man City, and they've got quality players that they could call for Man City for that game. So yeah, but that's my reaction to the fifth round of the draw of the FA Cup. Lecce beat Cagliari 2-0. Coventry beat Middlesbrough for the championship for the top of the table clash. As Middlesbrough were top, but Coventry won. Frank Lampard's side won. They go for top of the championship. La Liga, Girona against Barcelona. Girona beat Barcelona 2-1. Barcelona lose, and that means Real Madrid are top of La Liga. I mean, it's crazy to think this when it's crazy to think this when, you know, a lot of people keep saying that, oh, you know, Real Madrid have been absolutely awful. Barcelona are absolutely amazing. They play much better than you. You know, etc. And then somehow Real Madrid on top of the of La Liga, like you know, so yeah, like absolutely incredible, because not incredible because Real Madrid, it's not like Real Madrid are some underdogs here, but if the perception, if the people's perception and the way people talk about Real Madrid matches the results, then Real Madrid will not be top of the La Liga, because, you know, they've been struggling this season. Let's not forget they sacked Xabi Alonso. They were out of the Copa del Rey by Albacete. They lost the final to Barcelona in the Super Cup. They lost 4-2 to Benfica, and they were out, you know, they didn't qualify for the Champions League, lost 16 automatically. And yet somehow, and yet they get more criticised, and yet somehow they're above Barcelona and they're leaving the title, the league, which is strange, like, because, you know, there is a very reason also why Real Madrid are top of the Spanish league, because they've collected so many points. Even though when there is a lot of games they haven't played well, they've won those games. They made sure that they can grind out and win those games, which is something that Barcelona, I don't think that they're great at it, in my opinion. I think this is something Real Madrid are better than Barcelona at it, when in terms of grinding out results, grinding out wins, Real Madrid are better at it. Whereas Barcelona, not only they like to win, they like to win in the Barca style, as some Barcelona fans would like to say. So, but sometimes you have to grind out as well. So it's not all about, you know, it's not every game you're gonna win 4-5-0. Sometimes you have to dig deep, be conservative. Like, don't be like pushy all the time. So, and again, defensively, Barcelona, again, they were exposed once again. I feel like I'm saying it millions and millions of times. They were exposed defensively once again. Lamine Yamal missed the penalty. But, by the way, I don't know why Rafinha didn't take the penalty, because he's a better penalty taker than Lamine Yamal. And I believe in the last penalties that Barcelona have had, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, Rafinha is also taking those penalties. So yeah, Rafinha is taking those penalties. So why this time Lamine Yamal takes the penalty? I don't understand that. Yes, by the way, despite that, Barcelona got themselves a lead in the 59th minute from Cabarsi, and you think like, okay, that's very good. Barcelona, they've got the goal now, they should go out and close the game. Whereas they absolutely throw it away. Absolutely throw it away. A team with a proper defense structure would not let this happen. Thomas Lemar equalising, and the Girona scoring the winning goal from Ferran Peltran. The red card from Joe Rocco, which was a deserved red card. I mean, I'm sorry, like, if you want to win the Spanish league, if Barcelona want to win the Spanish league and the Champions League, they can't use this kind of tactic again, high line. You know, you look at the stats, they had 27 shots, and you think like, oh, they dominated the game. But they conceded 9 shots on target. 9. It wasn't a great performance for Barcelona. You know, Barcelona deserved to lose this game. You know, they were lucky to be in a position that they were winning in the first place from Cabarsi. Let's be honest about it. Let's be honest. So, it was not a good performance from Barcelona at all. And yes, the Barcelona have had this great form after the Chelsea game where they won almost every single game except the Real Sociedad one. But the last two games, Atletico Madrid, oh my god, that was a woeful performance, especially in the first half. And this game, like, are the cracks are starting to appear from Barcelona's side? Maybe, because yes, I understand you have to bounce back after losing 4-0, but at least put a better show, better fight. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that. Some of the players didn't step up. Rafinha didn't step up. Ferran Torres didn't step up. Lamine Yamal didn't step up. So Hansi Flick didn't get his tactics and his game plan right. You could clearly see that. I mean, yes, Barcelona had a lot of possession, a lot of chances, but was that enough? They had only 4 shots on target with those 27 shots, and they conceded 9 shots on target. They were getting exposed a couple of times. Garcia was making saves. They were lucky that they didn't lose even more than that. By the way, where is Girona in the league? The 12. The 12, right? Yeah, the 12. Okay. How many points they were clear of the relegation zone before the game? 2 points. 2 points? Yeah, 2 points clear. Like, this is not a Girona side that is like, amazing, brilliant Girona team, like 2 years ago when they were even some contention to fight for the title, and they finished third, finished above Atletico. This is not a good Girona side. It's not good at all. And the fact that Girona have made the comeback, not just they won the game, they also made the comeback, and Barcelona let this happen, it's unacceptable. Listen, you have to give credit to Girona because they played really well. They deserve to win. They create chances. They didn't have a lot of possession, but they didn't need to. When they had the ball, they exposed massively the problems that Barcelona always face defensively. So they deserve a lot of credit. And they've got very good attackers as well, like Van Aert as well. Thomas Lemar is a quality player, as we've known him before. So they deserve to win, no doubts about it. But Barcelona, absolutely woeful, absolutely poor, defensively poor once again. And you look at the La Liga table, the 2 points behind Real Madrid. I mean, I've been saying it for quite some time that Barcelona are the favourites to win the La Liga title. And especially I thought after winning the Spanish Super Cup against Real Madrid, this would give them the momentum and the freedom and the confidence to win after that. But it looks like not. It looks like not, because they still have the same problems. They lost against Girona and they got smashed by Atletico with the Copa del Rey. So yeah. So are Real Madrid top of the La Liga Spanish league? Are Real Madrid top of the league? Ahead of Barcelona, who a lot of people say, oh, Real Madrid are bad and Barcelona are good. Ask Real Madrid. Yeah, I'm mocking Hansi Flick here. But like, I am still going with Barcelona favourites for the La Liga title. I'm still going with it, even though the Real Madrid are now leading the title. But I'm not convinced as before. And yes, this Real Madrid side haven't been that great this season, but they've been collecting a lot of points. They've been collecting a lot of wins, and they're a team who is a well-experienced team and a fantastic team who is very good in getting wins, even though when they're not at their best. And they're much better than Barcelona at that, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I still have to go with Barcelona, but and it's a big but. I'm not as convinced as before. That's for sure. So, yeah. Now let's move on to today's Champions League games. But before we move on to today's Champions League games, I want to talk about the appointment of Tottenham for Igor Tudor.